Have you ever made a decision that seemed perfect, only to discover years later that it cost you more than you ever imagined? This is the story of Joseph. At 17, Joseph believed he had found the opportunity of a lifetime. He thought he was making the best decision of his life, until one day, he realized what it had truly cost him. What would you do if someone offered you everything you needed today, but it meant giving up the future you've always dreamed of? Joseph was the brightest student in his village. His dream was to become a doctor and save lives. Every morning, Joseph woke up before the sun rose that he quietly picked up his old backpack. His mother looked at him with a warm smile. "One day, you'll become a great doctor," she said softly. Joseph smiled and nodded, then he began the long walk to school, believing that every step was bringing him closer to his dream. That afternoon, something unusual happened. A luxury black SUV drove into Joseph's village. Everyone stopped to watch. The vehicle stopped right in front of Joseph. A well-dressed businessman stepped out with a warm smile. "Are you Joseph?" the man asked. "Yes, sir," Joseph replied respectfully. The businessman smiled even more. "I've heard you're the smartest student in this village." Joseph lowered his head with a shy smile. Then the businessman reached into his briefcase and slowly pulled out a thick envelope. "Inside this envelope is more money than your family has ever owned," he said. Joseph looked at the envelope, then at his old school bag. He didn't know which one would change his life forever. The businessman stepped closer. "Joseph," he said gently, "you can keep struggling in school, or you can start earning money today." Joseph remained silent. He thought about his parents. He remembered the nights they went to bed hungry so he could eat. Tears slowly filled Joseph's eyes. Joseph took one last look at his school bag. He slowly closed his eyes, then, he reached for the envelope. The businessman smiled. Joseph held the money tightly in his hands. Then he looked at his school bag one final time, and quietly walked away. Joseph believed he was walking toward a better life. But he had no idea, this decision would change his life forever. The next morning, Joseph arrived in the city for the first time in his life. Everything around him looked bigger than he had ever imagined. He smiled to himself. "I made the right decision," he whispered. The businessman led Joseph into a large company building. Employees welcomed the businessman with respect. Joseph couldn't stop smiling. He believed every sacrifice had finally paid off. But sometimes, life doesn't reveal the truth immediately. Weeks turned into months. Joseph worked harder than he had ever worked before. He never complained. Every month, he sent most of his salary back to his parents. His parents were finally able to repair their old house. For the first time in years, they no longer worried about their next meal. Joseph believed he had made the right choice. Then one afternoon, everything changed. The company announced it was shutting down. Everyone had lost their jobs. Joseph walked the streets of the city, searching for another job. Day after day, every company gave him the same answer. "We're sorry, but we need someone with a university degree." Joseph thanked them, and quietly walked away. That answer followed him everywhere he went. One evening, exhausted, Joseph sat alone on a park bench. As he looked across the street, he froze. A doctor stepped out of a hospital, wearing the same dream Joseph had once imagined for himself. For the first time in years, Joseph understood exactly what his decision had cost him. Joseph didn't move. He couldn't stop staring at the hospital. Then he smiled, not because he was happy, but because he finally understood something that he couldn't change yesterday. But he could still change tomorrow. The next morning, Joseph enrolled in evening classes to continue his education. He worked during the day, and studied every night. The journey was harder than before, but this time, Joseph refused to quit. Some decisions may delay your dreams, but they don't have to destroy them. As long as you're willing to learn, grow, and begin again, your future is never truly lost. Joseph couldn't rewrite the chapter he had already lived, but he proved that every new chapter is a chance to build a better ending.